It's been snowing here in Mishawaka. It's about 18 degrees and the car is cold soaked. Well, today we're going to show how to start a cold 1924 Model T Ford. One of the reasons Model Ts are difficult to turn over by hand during the winter is the oil congeals. The engine transmits power from the rotating engine to the rear wheels through the transmission through a clutch. The clutch consists of 25 metal plates bathed in oil. When the springs engage the plates tightly together, they cease their rotation individually and start rotating as one unit, transmitting power from the engine to the rear wheels. If the oil is very thick because it's cold, it acts like a glue. So when you are trying to turn the engine over by hand, the oil is sticking to these plates. It acts as though you've got the transmission in gear. So not only are you trying to turn the engine over, you're trying to move the entire weight of the car. This is why it's important to squeeze oil out from between these bands, and also to turn the engine over a number of times by hand to try to break this oil loose. That is the oil congealing in the 25 clutch plates. Two ways you can prevent this or help yourself out. One is when you park the car in cold weather, take the brake handle and push it all the way forward. This will squeeze the oil out of the clutch plates. The other thing to do is when you get in the car is press on all three pedals. This will also squeeze some of the oil out from between the 25 metal discs, which transmit power from the engine to the wheels. So if the oil is congealed, this will give you a little bit of airspace between the discs and let you turn the car over easier. Also remember the critical importance of retarding your spark and choking the engine. Remember, if the engine is extremely hard to turn over to crank, simply jack up one of the rear wheels. The spark is retarded on the column. This is retarding the spark. Every car will have its own sweet spot of where to start in cold weather. Mine is about 6 clicks down on the adjustment. We've done all the internals is prime the engine with the key off. To do that, we're going to pull out. What we want to do first, after we've done all the internals, is prime the engine with the key off. To do that, we're going to pull out on the choke and prime the engine 3 times. 1, 2, 3. And you go to the choke. What this does, it gets a little bit of fuel up into the cylinders. Now remember, if the engine was extremely hard to turn over, that means the oil has congealed between the clutch plates, and you may have to jack up the rear wheel in order to give yourself enough strength to turn on the car. So now we're going to turn on the key to magneto. Okay, the emergency brake is on, the key's on magneto, the spark is retarded for safety, and the throttle's barely open. And remember, the reason we're using magneto is that it puts out 7 volts of electricity, and in cold weather you're probably only going to get 5 volts out of the battery. So the magneto is going to give you a hotter spark. Remember, using your left hand, engage the crank and turn. So that's how you start a G in cold weather. It's running. Okay, we're releasing the emergency brake, neutral, giving a little bit more power.